What's up, guys? Today we're doing a tier list for all the operators of Rainbow Six Siege. I've been asked to do an updated tier list for Operation Deadly Omen with all the optic changes and everything, so that's what we're doing today. Let's get to it. We're going to start with attackers and then do defenders, so I'm going to put that in the chapter. If you're looking for a specific op, it'll be labeled at the bottom. All right, so Deimos, B tier. He can be really good for the roam clear, but when Jackal and Dokkaebi exist, doing his job except better, and you don't really, everyone can see those and deal off that. Deimos is a lower end pick compared to Dokkaebi and Jackal, but still really good in certain situations. So B tier. Sledge, I'm gonna put the Sledge at the A tiers. The hammer, the grenades, the good gun. The only downside to Sledge is that he is kind of slow, but being able to destroy whatever utility you walk into, or open up any soft destruction that you need to, very versatile op. Thatcher, gonna be S tier. You can just cancel off basically all utility and then make a move, or you can open a wall. I mean, that's why Thatcher's banned so many times. Thermite, I'm placing at A tier. I mean, Thermite, you're very vulnerable when you open up a wall, so you can only use him sparingly, but he's good most of the time. When compared to, like, let's say Hibana and the Ace. Hibana and Ace, long-range breach, a little bit more viable, and certainly, you're safe while you do it most of the time. Thermite, you're a little bit more exposed. All right, Ashe. Ashe is going to be at the S tier in terms of entry, and she can counter mirror instantly. Most of the time you're going to counter mirror, you're going to be picking Ashe for it anyways. Just bang it out. Twitch, going to be more of a situational op. Going to be B tier with the Deimos. A little bit more situational. Can destroy, like, if they have Goyo, if they're rocking Goyo and it's making you lose rounds, you can just zap all those Goyos, go for a mirror, zap utility, the mirrors. I mean, it can be really good, but again, you're on a camera for a while. Let's do all the camera ops really quick. We're gonna have the floors. I'm gonna put the floors at the I think floors at the A tier. Destroys so much damn utility. Gets completely countered by the mute, which mute is gonna be there, but we're gonna get to that later. Brava. I'm kind of going out of order, but I kind of like to do it in my train of thought. Brava, I would place at the B tier as well. Situational, can be good, can be mid. In fact, I think that her situations are a little bit lower than Twitch's would be, so I'm gonna place her a little bit lower, a little bit more situational. Monte with the buff. Monte right now is honestly a wrecking ball and super goddamn annoying to have to deal with. I'm gonna put him at least at A tier. Honestly, you could make an argument that he is a S tier operator, but I'm not gonna do that today. Glaz, D tier. Very, very, very situational, but can be good in the right situations, but very situational. I can't quite put him in E tier because the E is like basically useless. Fuse, again, super situational, can be used to clear a lot of utility, but more times than not, you're not going to be rocking that. Blitz, a little bit worse than Montaigne in my eyes, because Montaigne can just like run around like Blitz and you can always take cover. Blitz is a little bit harder to maneuver around because you don't have that big boy shield, but you do have a lot more offensive power, but still a little bit more situational. B tier. IQ. Now, I'm definitely put the IQ at the D tier because IQ is really only good if you're with a certain stack that's going to play for utility. You need to find a Valchem. Very situational op. Can be pretty good. In fact, I can't really put her next to Glass, so we're going to place her at C tier. Buck, A tier. Entry, soft destruction, hard breach charges, or flash. I mean, Gone 6. Buck is literally a Swiss Army knife of whatever you need. You have it. Boom. Blackbeard. This is tough. Blackbeard's going to be D tier because you can make Blackbeard decent with grenades. I can't quite put him at horrible. Capital, I think Capital would be more A tier, but in my eyes, Capital's more of a B tier operator. Smokes, fire, push people out. Good gun. Gun 6. Heartbreach charge. He's a little bit of everything. Kind of a Swiss Army knife. Master of none, but good at everything. Ying, probably the best entry in the game. Ying is very annoying to have to deal with. When, you know, you clear everybody out, they have to run away. And you have a good gun. And Heartbreach charges. Zofia. I'm placing Zof at the A tier in terms of... because she is slow. Otherwise, if she wasn't slow, she would be an S tier. But in terms of entry, she's going to be a little bit weaker. The concussives are really nice. The breaches are really nice. She's breaching charges, but actually, I gotta play Zof more at the B tier. Actually, can be really good. It's just more of a situational pick in my eyes. Finka. I personally think that Finka is probably the best entry in the game with the heals, the gun, and the grenades. I think Finka is a necessity when playing most matches because of how, I mean, at least for ranks, which what all you guys are playing, Finka's really good. You're going to make a lot of use of the heals. It's going to save a lot of people, and you overheal before you go take a firefight. You basically swing them like you have more health than a 3 armor. So, and the guns are pretty nice with grenades. Lion A tier. Grenades. Good gun. Ability that can really be used for executes that are super good. Just remember, like, everyone's going to have different ideas about what op should be where. Everybody's tier list is different. But this is like, you know, this is my tier list, obviously. So, Maverick. Maverick to me is an A tier, not an S tier, because you're very vulnerable when you're doing this, so it's kind of sketchy sometimes. But you can cut whatever you need to. Any wall, you were peeking through it, no matter, like, it's not even there. Nomad, I'm gonna place Nomad at the... I'm gonna place Nomad at the S tier. In terms of entry ability, I would argue that Nomad is now a better entry than Ayana. Flashbangs, you have, you know, you have the flashbangs, you have the same gun, and you have anti-flank. So, now speaking of Ayana with the EMP gadget, I'm placing Ayana at the beats here. In terms of support, she can be a good supportive op. Let's say Thatcher's banned. You still need something to open the wall. She has EMP impacts. You have infinite intel gathering. You still have a good gun. She's not completely useless. You can actually get a lot done with that. All right, Gridlock. I like Gridlock. She's not as good as Nomad, but she can be near as good as Nomad occasionally. But in terms of op lineup, I think that she's going to be a little bit more situational. Knock can occasionally work in certain spots, like bank garage. When most people are watching it with a camera, you can kind of sneak in. But other than that, there's not that many opportunities to really go through. Amaru situationally can be extremely strong, but if you put, let's say you mained Amaru and picked Amaru every round, people will catch on to your antics very quickly. Callie, really good gun. Really good gun. Ability is actually really nice. You can destroy whatever's in front of you pretty easily. The only problem is you do have a sniper, so going for those close range encounters, but you do have a good secondary. But it's definitely a little bit more situational in my eyes. All right, Zero can be really strong, but in the current ranked meta, if you're shooting all your cameras everywhere, your teammates are taking firefights and pushing, chances are you're kind of going to be left in a 1v3, which I'm sure most Zero players have been in before. That's the only reason why Zero is lower on the list, because it is a very camera intel focused operator from an old meta. Can be strong though. Within the right hands, Zero can be a little bit higher on this list, but in my eyes at champion elo, I don't see Zero being very high. Osa, B tier. Can be really good. Good gun, grenades, EMPs. Really works well playing off of a breach. So there you go. Sense for ranked, I'll place a Sense at E tier. I don't see a purpose. I don't see a reason. I just think that it's useless. I think you're way better off picking Ying or even Grim. Sense is just, they can impact and nitro your smokes, so like they barely even work. You might be able to make a play with Sense occasionally, but most of the time it's going to be practically useless. Grim. I like Grim as an entry because like I compare Grim to kind of IQ, but I like Grim as the entry. Like let's say Ying gets banned, Grim is a good secondary option to clear and open up walls and breaches. Ram, the Vert King. I'm going to place Ram at A tier. Ram is really good for opening up Vert, but it makes a lot of sound, and I've seen a lot of Ram players get flanked or they open up too much and it slams them. But Ram is really good, but there are a lot of operators in the game that can open up floor very easily. So you know, and Ram only has that ability. Like Sledge can do it too and has grenades. Buck can do it too, has Gone 6, has flashbangs or hard breach charge. Ram has flashbangs for entry plays, but you're a 3 armor and you can't open a Vert. I mean, Ram's clearly very good. A tier though. I think this is it for the attackers, unless I'm mistaken. Yep. These are the attackers. Next, we're going to be doing the defenders. If you guys have any opinions on who should go up or down, make sure to leave that down below in the comments. Or if you're on stream, let me know right now who you move up or down. But if you're only going to tell me that to move an operator either up or down 1 tier, then you mostly agree with my placement on the operator. If you're like saying, hey, 0 should be S tier, let me know and explain why. All right. Now we do the defenders. Delete. All right, defending time. Smoke. I can't not put Smoke at S because Smoke is just so good in the right hands. Same with Mute. Mute is very goddamn annoying. Same with Smoke. Very goddamn annoying in the right positions with the right usual placements. Very, very annoying. Castle, situational op, can be very strong, can literally throw the entire round for your team. It depends on who is playing the Castle. Castle in the right hands is going to be more A to potential S. Castle in the wrong hands is going to be all the way down here. So I'll place the Castle in the middle at the B tier. Pulse, very good. Ability, Nitro, you know. But once they catch on, you're not going to be able to get away with running Pulse every single round. So. Doc, I personally believe this, at least for ranked, that Doc is an S tier operator. Call me crazy. You have barbed wire, you have a bailiff set at the site, you have an MP5, which shreds with an ACOG, and you have heals. Heals are very slept on. In Siege, I mean, I play Fink at S tier. I think heals are super goddamn good. I mean, anytime you're Doc, how many times are people going to run up to you asking for heals? And they save people. So like, I love having Doc. So I'm placing Doc at S just for that. Rook. I'm gonna place Rook more around Pulse. This feels like a travesty. I feel like Rook should be lower. Rook does everything Doc does, except Doc does it better in my eyes. And you know, why play Rook if Doc's on the board? Capkin, S tier. I mean, you literally have traps that people have to be wary of, slowing everyone down. That literally will kill enemy players without you even being there. And you have a decent gun with a Nitro. Crazy kid. Yeg. In the current meta, Yeg is a little bit weaker. If you're running like more high level rank / comp, Yeg can be a little bit better. But in the current meta, I just think Yeg has way too many counters. Let's say Flores dives on top of all your ADSs in a row. Like, There's just so many ways of destroying ADSs. Y9S are so much stronger because they're thrown randomly. It's hard to find them. Y9 has arguably a better gun to use with impacts to make plays. I just think if Y9's on the board, Yeg just doesn't really make too much sense unless you're doing a very specific play that calls for Yeg. Bandit. Again, I'm placing Bandit next to the castle. Situational. Can be really strong. Can be completely useless. But again, you're a 3-speed with a Nitro. But if you're not really going Bandit to try to keep walls closed, I mean, you're just basically Fenrir running around. You might as well just go Fenrir, because Fenrir is one of the best operators in the game. So, yeah, let's just do the 3 Musketeers. Very good ops. I should put them in S tier plus low key, but we're gonna place them there. All 3 of these guys need a nerf. I'm gonna leave it at that. They're all really good. Frost. I can't really quite play Frost at Castle and Bandit level, so I'm gonna place Frost more at C tier. I do like Frost in a normal round a little bit more than, you know, like Castle or Bandit in a normal round, because traps are always useful. Guns not bad. You have shotgun to set up sight, and you have a deployable shield. So because of the deployable shield, I'm gonna place Bandit Frost up 1 tier. Legion, A tier or S tier? Honestly, the impacts hurt Legion quite a bit, but I still think that Legion is king because you can hold so much map control, unlike any other operator besides maybe Fenrir. And I just think Legion does such a good job with it. And you have a shotgun to set up sight, you have a good gun. And again, the traps still work the same way. They used to do 5 damage, now they do 3, but the ticks still do the same amount of damage. You just don't have impacts. And let's be honest, Legion never really needed his impacts. It's useful to have, but you never really needed them. Tachanka. I just don't see a point. Lord Chonks, but you know, you can just go smoke. Just go smoke. Just go smoke. Unless you're trying to troll. Tachanka has a very high win delta because most cheaters will play Tachanka. So, because they know they're memeing. Valkyrie, I'm going to place Valkyrie at S tier. If you're a console player, Valkyrie will probably be more at the C tier because people don't watch cameras. But for me, I'm placing Valkyrie at S tier. Cameras are lifeblood. Intel gathering without having to be in the room. You can throw them anywhere. Good gun and a Nitro with speed. I mean, I don't think you can really go wrong on that. Caveira, I'm placing Caveira with Rook because situationally speaking, she can be used somewhat occasionally and do well. But it is mostly troll. Same with, like, you know, D tier, whatever. I'm leaving it there. All right. We have the Echo. I'm placing Echo at the C tier. Can be good. You can drone your teammates around with the drone, which, you know, kind of nice. You could try to deny plants. You can try to make crazy plays. Don't have an ACOG, but Echo is pretty fast now, so you don't really have to be the guy on site tanking. So, Echo. Boom. Ella. I'm placing Ella at the C tier as well. Trap's really nice. Gun takes a little bit getting used to. Ella's not bad. But I just see other operators just shining a little. Look how many ops I have in S tier right now. Like, I feel like that's just crazy to me. That's how I feel. C tier, Vigil can be good, can be mid. It really depends on the player. I mean, if you're a really good Vigil, it can help, but most of the time, Vigil is going to be more near here. Boss G combo, go hard. Alibi. I don't see much of a reason to really go Alibi anymore. So, D tier. I wouldn't quite put it at E tier, but not super useful. Maestro. I'll place Maestro at B tier. Can be pretty good. Cameras aren't bad. It's really hard to destroy them. But Brava completely counters Maestro with hacking them, and then you're shooting your teammates with them. But other than that, Maestro can be really strong. And the LMG on defense has never been a joke. Taking a firefight with Maestro with that LMG has always been crazy. Clash. Not completely useless at E tier, but mostly bad. You can't really defend yourself. You have basically required to have people play around you, or it's going to end badly. Cade, I have to place Cade at S tier. I mean, I just can't. So, Cade's one of the best operators in the game for keeping walls closed. Mozzie, good. Intel denial, basically a fragger with nitro. I mean, even that's a little generous. I could be here, but I don't know. I just feel like people love Mozzie. So, Mira, I'm placing at A tier. First A tier operator. Mira is only A tier because she is countered so easily nowadays. Mira is, on paper, an S tier operator, but Ashe just poking her Mira instantly every round. If you've ever played Mira, your Mira is always cracked or it's open in some category before you really get a kill off of it most of the time. So that's why I'm saying A tier. Melusi, I'm also going to do A tier. Slowing enemies down. She's not the best at it, but it is pretty good. It is useful. And you have an MP5 with impacts. Very strong. Oryx, I don't see much of a point. Can be good in various certain situations. A big map, doing crazy flanks can be good, but most of the time it's not going to be good. So, D tier. Thorn, again, just not much. I don't see much of a reason to really ever go Thorn over any other operator. So, the gun's nice. Warden, I'm going to place at the B tier because situationally it can be good if they're really relying on flashes to make plays. But if, let's say, Warden dies, you aren't doing anything for the team anymore, right? Because all your utils on your corpse. But can be really good for stopping some certain crazy plays. Goyo being A tier seems... I think this seems fair. Goyo has a really good gun with impacts. His fires are super strong at slowing pushes down. But it really depends on the player playing the Goyo and the team playing around the Goyo that the fires are used in the right situations and not too early. If you play stalling the plant and stalling them pushing in, Goyo can be extremely strong and basically funnel people to their deaths. But really depends on the player. And if they know you're playing Goyo every round, they bring the Flores, they bring the Twitch, they burn your fires, they bring grenades, they burn your fires. But again, forcing the attackers to use utility on you. Goyo is at least an A. Aruni. Definitely can't place Aruni in that tier or that tier, so I'm gonna place Aruni here. DMR is really good. Ability is a little lackluster because playing around the gate as a defender, you open it and everyone knows you're there. So you basically are waiting for them to burn it. So you're just burning their util. Normally you're just burning their drones because people are just gonna throw their drones at your gates. So it doesn't really stop too much. It's really about Aruni with her fist opening up rotates, maybe lines of sight, and having a DMR on defense. Two-Brow, I think Two-Brow is an A tier operator at least. Could convince me to be S tier, but I think Two-Brow is kind of mid on his own. His DMR is crazy, don't get me wrong. Nitro's nice, but Two-Brow paired with another operator makes that extremely insane combo. Like Two-Brow with Bandit, Two-Brow with Cade, Two-Brow with, you know, what a wall denial in any capacity is going to be super strong. But Two-Brow on his own is just going to stall them out for like 40 seconds, which is not bad, but Two-Brow paired with the Cade, that wall is literally not going to get opened. Like, at all. So. Thunderbird, I just don't see, I mean, maybe this is me being biased, but I just don't ever see a reason to ever go Thunderbird when Doc is just so good. Thunderbird's, I mean, she has a spear, which is nice, but Thunderbird's not useless, but half the time your heals heal the enemy team. Like, I hate that attackers can commandeer your heals and use them for themselves. So I don't know. If I ever see a Thunderbird on my team, I just instantly assume they're throwing, even more than going Cav. What else we got for defenders? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. How we do? I know there's a lot of operators on S tier, but this is why I personally feel that there's a defender meta, because there is a lot of good defenders to choose from that do a wide variety of things. Like, pick 5 operators from S tier on any map, in any like capacity. You're probably gonna do pretty fucking good. So let me know how you guys feel. Do you mostly agree? Where would you put an operator? Would you move an operator up or down 1 tier, or do you feel like we did pretty good? Anyways, make sure to comment, subscribe, and leave a like down below for more. And peace out, YouTube. Later, bitch.